Then Kid Rock came on later in the evening, and talk about a stellar stage show.
Yeah,
that man knows his audience.
yeah.
And
they can't hold a candle to him on the stage show.
He is absolutely tremendous. I loved it. I mean, I've always liked Kid Rock stuff a little bit, but after that, I became a huge fan, and it might have had something to do with the cloud of THC in the air that made me enjoy it more. I don't know,
maybe,
but there is such thing as a contact buzz, and I was there with a guy from church, so me and him went to the concert together because we're both fans of Skinner, right?
Yeah,
and
I don't know, man. There's a thing with Kid Rock. Like, I love him, but I haven't been able to see him the same after Joe Dirt. You know that,
right, man? I love freaking Joe Dirt. That's a great.
Yeah,
movie.
I love Joe Dirt, but
talk about an underrated movie.
The character he played in Joe Dirt, it's like, is he like that? Like, this feels natural. Like, is he like that for real? Yeah.
Speaking of underrated, no, not underrated.
Yeah.
Here, let's watch this trailer.
Let's do it. Oh yeah.
Guys, see this trailer here.
Lots of music, man.
Wait, let me turn the volume on.
There you go.
I just want it to be like the Crusader Corps.
It's very breathy, Vaughn. It's very breathy.
Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be.
And the music feels very like Braveheart. You know, like.
Yeah, good job.
I let
Island.
everyone down.
Yeah.
I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix Senshi. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.
It will. Hold on, after the trailer, I'll do it.
I just wanted to make comics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. You know what? That deserves a video. Yeah, I think you know.
Man, everyone's gay once in a while.
Oh man, I remember I was going through like a list of like I have a playlist of royalty-free music, same one I got the first one from, and I was like, I think this track was like the video was called like something ethnic music. I was like, ethnic music, what? And I was like, that's goofy. I was like, that's stupid. And then I started listening. I was like, okay, this actually kind of works. And then I was like, I actually ended up the part where it gets climactic that it's building up to. I actually ended up cutting, the whole trailer is just basically the build up and then the build out. I cut out the climactic part of the song that it's building to because it actually worked better.
Okay, so it came from the section of ethnic music.
Let's see. It came from a section of I don't know. No, just that was I forget what it was called. The song.
Okay. Because that would classify as cultural appropriation, sir.
I didn't. I'm appropriating.
You're about to get kicked.
You know what? Come at me. There's all sorts of appropriation. All right, we have a character.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a character right here who's I as a white man wrote this Japanese woman, the Phoenix Senshi, who is appropriating the Greek phoenix in her name.
Man.
So I'm appropriating her. She's appropriating the Greeks. Everyone's appropriating somebody.
Listen, appropriating other
Appropriate
cultures is the white culture. So suck it,
Oh, yeah,
Pedro.
only white people do it. Yeah, no one
Hey,
else
everybody, I've invited Pedro to suck it.
Yeah. Dude, I appropriate things too.
does it. Everyone does. It's
Yeah.
just called
Like
Like
Martha
I don't know,
Stewart
being.
wigs.
Like being punctual.
Like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Ku Klux Klan. Oh no!
I love being me, man.
What's the context behind?
Yeah.
You gotta love Markiplier.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So 114 backers already. That's really good.
Yeah.
You've been able to pull in. Are these new backers? Or are these return backers?
Let's see. These, I think it's a mix. I haven't looked at the list yet because I just wanted to hit 4,000 then because I don't want to start obsessing over it yet. But I've looked at some of it, and so I know it's a mix so far. I know a lot of, but it looks like based on, I mean, I guess I would say mostly returning, given the fact that if you go through, let's see, how many people have gotten the catch up? So 11 have gotten the catch up, 12. So we've got a decent amount of
First issue 12. 53 issue 2 physical copy. So it looks like the majority are return.
Yeah,
At least 53 of them, which
more than that. It looks like the majority are returned, but there is a fair amount of new people,
and then
which is
12
good.
with the all covers. So that's 65, 64.
Yeah, I could get a more accurate list. I would say basically anyone who didn't get the catch up is probably a returning customer. Now there is a recap of issue 1 in here, but you'll be like, man, I want issue 1. And here's the thing, you could get it digitally, guys. I want cheap options for people. I want it accessible. Because part of it's like people fear piracy. But I was having Jimmy Palmiotti on. I'm like, aren't you afraid of piracy? He goes, I was like, that's fine. Like when he was offering a PDF, and I'm like, if he's not afraid of it, it's also like it's gonna get pirated.
Yep.
You know, people who do physical books, theirs get pirated too. You know,
I offer my first 9 issues of my book for free digital download on my website.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I wish I could afford to do that.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it a minute, so.
But you can link off if you're like, I don't trust this Vaugh Coleman individual. I don't. Well, you could go and it says Phenomenova issue 1 free preview right there. You could go ahead and read the first 10 pages on Global Comics. And then if you're like, I like this guy now, well, you could buy the issue 1 on my website. We can get it to ship off, or you could, if you'd rather spend it on shipping. I mean, if you'd rather save on shipping, you could have them both arrive. Issue 2 is lettered, so we're basically now just kind of raising money and marketing it. And obviously, look, if this raised like 20K day 1, I wasn't expecting that. That's why, I made it in 60 days. But if it raised like that amount,
well,
we'd be starting issue 3 probably, possibly.
Well, right now, the economy is not good. Like we're talking about numbers. We've been talking about, and we're going to look at numbers here in a little bit from the legacy media.
Boy.
So we're going to look at corporate comics here in a minute.
Lost somebody.
But this is really solid for this economy and for kind of the way things are going. This is really, really solid. So I appreciate the little commercial stuff you're trying there, but I got a question for you. What are some of your strategies that you've used for engaging backers from one campaign to the other? So Vaugh Coleman, what did you do in between campaigns to bring people from issue 1 to issue 2?
God, I mean, there was a lot. I tried to get as much in between work as I could, get it further along. I would really try to learn. I'm trying to kind of iron out the kinks in the machine as best I can. But the thing is, when you're creating the machine, that's tough. But kind of preparing in advance the stuff that I dropped the ball on last time. And when I dropped the ball, I mean, so I did meet my deadline for having art and letters and everything. It could have been, in September, but then I'm like, bleed lines. Oh my God. Oh, you have to prep for the prisoner. And that kind of stuff pushed me back. So now I know that, that stuff does take time, but now I know it'll take less time, hopefully, because I've learned a lesson. But in the meantime, I kept an online presence. This time, I saw the new Sonic 3 movie, so I've been doing a lot of content related to that. And I'm like, I should just do content on stuff I like, but also appearing on live shows when I can. It's hard to find the mix between appearing on live shows and working, if it is work. I'm always networking, and whenever I find a new show to get on, I add it to this spreadsheet that it currently has 81 shows on it. I try and get everywhere I can, network everywhere I can.
Well, was there anything outside of YouTube that you were doing that engaged directly with the backers from issue 1?
Got it. All right. Shorts every day. I do. God, there's a lot. It's weird because it's like, I feel like I'm spreading myself thin, but it's actually kind of good in some ways because it's like, I would say another thing is engaging fans, retweeting reviews, asking people for thoughts, keeping the conversation alive about issue 1. Even like yesterday, I was like, what's everyone's favorite character? Like little stuff like that to see who's invested enough to care. I would say part of why it's good to launch issue 2 after issue 1 closer. I would like to have launched even closer, but is because it forces people to actually read the book, which is why I would love to keep these going faster. Because if anything, it keeps the momentum. Because people, they know the book isn't going to arrive for years. Why do I have to read it now? But if they're like, oh, I got to be up in the conversation. Then so it's like with Stranger Things. I remember I was working on a movie set, and Stranger Things had come out, and we were working 12+ hour days. But then someone on set was like, I saw it, and everyone else was like, oh, we have to watch it. Now we immediately had to go see it because we didn't want to get it spoiled. Same thing with when the Star Wars Episode 7 came out. I have never fought so hard to avoid spoilers. People, the assholes who went to the midnight premiere. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I was supposed to use that language. The guys, the jerks that went to the midnight premiere, were like, oh, we saw it. That was crazy. Remember this? And everyone else was like, we haven't seen it yet. Stop. So we rushed from school to see it on Friday. And someone went out of their way. I am mildly annoyed. I'll never forgive this. I mildly annoyed someone on that Friday. And he goes, Han Solo dies in the new movie. And I was like, are you?
Like, I want to kill you for that.
Yeah. And he goes, I go, you're kidding. And then I could see, but what confirmed it for me, because this is a guy who just screws with me. What confirmed it for me was the scared reaction of his friend. Like, you just said that. And I was like, oh. So anyway, off tangent, but I would say engaging the conversation about the book itself was a big thing. Getting on shows, talking to people who would be enthusiastic about your project, keeping your network strong. And it's hard, man. It's hard. But I spend too much time on Twitter, I think, because, I guess I would say keep the enthusiasm alive between campaigns.
Well, I think that's one thing a lot of people fail to do is keeping the enthusiasm alive. Like I realized when I launched my book 10, I've been so busy on other projects. I was on a stream last night and someone that I'm working on a art for a book for a guy named AC Pritchard. And he, the host actually said, well, this will be your debut of art for a lot of people. And he's got a real prominent Comicsgate crowd there. And he said, in Comicsgate. And I was like, well, actually,
you'd be surprised. There's people who always don't know who you are. There's always people.
But it made me realize that I haven't done a good job of continuing to engage people with my own stories and characters, that they would even, that they're like, oh, Luke's the artist of this book over here. Yeah. Not that Luke writes and draws hybrids, right? So I was like, well, that's an interesting bit of real-time feedback.
Yeah.
For how I've personally done on my own marketing. Right?
Yeah.
And so we all think that we do enough and that people should
but we don't
know the content that we put out, but we're not doing enough. And so it got me thinking about other titles with Arrow Comics. How much do I hear about The Fool being engaged, or Alice in Chains, or The Atlantean is probably the one I see the most of because of Russ. Russ does a great job of that.
Yeah, he does.
Tropical Magics. How much do we see of that? How much do we see?
Yeah. But look, like I have an anecdote here, because this is the thing that keeps me humble. Like, I've streamed with Mike Barron like 27 times so far. Like, I have them counted because I'm such a big fan. Every time I stream with Mike Barron, he says, "Hey Pedro, nice to meet you. Are you an artist?" Every time. For some reason, he doesn't remember me.
Hey, it's okay. The first time I met him, he had been on my show twice.
Yes, he does.
Person.
Yes, he does.
No, dude, but I don't think it. It's my fault. It's not his. It's my fault because I don't cultivate my presence like
That's
that.
my.
Like, hey, bro,
you're not being memorable on those streams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you again? I'm the faceless wonder. That's what I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Call me old pineapple head.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm gonna make the pineapple make a big comeback in 2025. I have a lot of plans, man.
The pineapple is coming back.
Yes.
So, guys, I don't know if you're. Most people are familiar. In case this is your first time here, I want to remind everyone that you are able to flip Vaughn the bird. Now, we like to take things that are meant for negative and make them positive here. So, we have a bird that you can make them dance if you back Vaughn's project today. So, anytime we make money with super chats, with new memberships, or someone backing a project that we're promoting, you're flipping the bird. And so if you want to flip Vaughn the bird today, back the project, we'll notice it over here on the screen, and we will make the bird dance.
Yeah.
So we would like to see a tired bird by the end of our by the end of our stream today. That'd be great. So and Vaughn would like to see a tired bird as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's always great. Again, I'm seeing you always like, this is a good audience, like this stream right now. This is a pretty, like, I'm seeing a lot of names I know in chat and some, that I don't see on other streams. And that's why it's always good to get on as many shows as you can. I would say that's good. Keeping your networks alive, getting ready for the campaigns, because obviously there's some people who maybe haven't seen me. It's tough to always be perpetually online. That's why marketing is a full-time job.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a full-time job.
And it's hard for us because when we're marketing, we're not writing or drawing.
Yeah.
When we're writing or drawing, we're not marketing, right?
Thank God I'm not an artist for that reason, is that I can allow my artists to.
Yeah, I don't. And that's probably why I'm not online more, because I'm too busy with all the work. But it's a good thing. It's a positive thing in the end. Speaking of super chats, there we go. Flip that bird. Thank you, Bunny. You just like to watch the bird dance, don't you?
I love.
Thank you. Well, I don't know why I said thank you. Thank you for giving it to Luke Stone.
Yeah. Helps keep the channel alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, did you know StreamYard raised their rates?
Did they?
Gosh, like tremendously.
Wow.
I might switch it off.
Like,
I've been too lazy right now, but I might have to.
Yeah, it's not you look for the second best. You got awfully dark in a non-racial way, Luke. What happened?
Yeah. The light in the background, it's there we go.
There you go. That's...
The sun's real bright today.
Oh, gotcha.
Reflecting off the snow.
Yep. We got more coming in tomorrow.
Past Master Dan says he needs links.
You're in Washington, or did I dox you? Sorry. You're up in the Northeast somewhere.
I've been doing
Washington, Indiana, Southern Indiana.
I've been doing Streamlabs for my gaming streams, which I'm going to be doing more of. So maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should do that.
I mean, who's the second best after StreamYard?
Restream connects to Rumble now. I'm probably going to try it out.
I need to use Rumble. I have because don't you have to like manually put in advance?
Yeah,
that's the annoying thing.
With StreamYard it does, and I don't like that.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like,
it is, and that's why I don't do StreamYard much.
And again, I get
I
it.
don't do Rumble much.
And it's like because I'm like, oh, why don't more people do Fund My Comic? And it's because it's the same reason I still use YouTube, right? But the difference is though, I mean, you don't have to manually put in anything differently. Fund My Comic, you just go through the tiers, so it's really it's not that different than Indiegogo. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Well, it is different.
There's one thing we offer that a lot of people don't is that widget. Now, granted, the widget doesn't have all the functionality that the main site does because we have to write in more code for the widget to do that. But it is something where you can at least get people on your site, or if you've got a storefront, you can have a presence on your own domain in kind of your own aesthetic for the in-between campaign periods. It's it's smart. I think it's smart. The super chat came in today. Welcome, thank you, and Infinite Entertainment, good friend there. Let's make that bird dance.
But I don't know.
Me and Infinite had a nice little conversation the other day. Hello, lads. Hope you're all having an extra crispy morning, especially Luke, who's not holding me at gunpoint off camera. What a great and handsome host. I'm not physically holding a gun to his head anymore.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Luke, is it all right if Past Masterdan promotes Art's campaign? Because, I mean, I'm doing a book there. It's Indiegogo. It's not Fund My Comic, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I won't be a jerk. And also, I'm just putting a link to those digitals if you guys are want to read some free comic books today in the snow.
Yeah.
You read some free comic books. I like free stuff. Free stuff is good.
Free comic books in the snow. They have to be naked to read them.
Naked?
Naked in the snow.
No.
Useful.
Yeah.
But it helps.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. Guys, we have a little news. Let's segue a little bit and
here we go.
Check out some news, shall we? Top 100 graphic novels. So far in December, Dogman Volume 1. Where are my numbers?
Yeah.
Where did
those are not disclosed?
Those are not.
Those numbers are not there.
Yeah.
Those are just sales numbers, dollar price numbers. I want to.
Yeah, the price.
Where's my numbers?
I haven't read the Absolute books yet.
That's the article I just pulled up.
Yeah. Top 100 graphic novels, November. Sorry.
Yeah.
No numbers. It's just like, this is number one.
I want numbers. I want numbers.
Yeah.
They normally give me numbers. Where are they?
Maybe they're really embarrassing.
Maybe.
Yeah. Wow.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not giving units sold
this
time around. Yeah. Can you believe it?
Yes, I believe in
the same thing Comics
this is
doing.
fine. Methodology.
Oh, it's kind of
That
sad.
This is
is-
fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, nothing's
That is
burning.
unfortunate. Well,
We
then we can't
smell
talk about
nothing.
numbers.
Yeah.
We did last month. We did talk about how numbers had declined and how their numbers are
That's
suffering.
not smoke I'm smelling.
No,
Yeah.
we smell nothing.
I
Well,
mean,
let's talk about this.
and I hate to say it, like it almost makes me feel good because it's like, okay, so because it seems like it's everyone across the board, even the big two, but it's still like it's bad because obviously no one
Everybody's
wants
suffering.
that.
Yeah.
No one wants that, you know.
Right. A rising tide does raise all ships, and we do know that the numbers have been failing.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of loss of fans or anything like that. It's because of the economy.
Yeah.
We know in election year, crowdfunding numbers and just discretionary spending in general goes down. So election years, you know you're going to run into that. Holiday season, you're going to run into that. Cold weather, you run into that.
Wish I did.
But
all
I need
of
my
these
scratch and
things.
sniff Harley
I
Quinn
did all
fart
these
book.
things. Oh yeah,
And Ron
that's.
decides to launch.
And I'm like, well, I was like, you know what? I don't care. I mean, I do, but I'm like, all right, guys, you know what? It's there. Take it or leave it. Because I mean, at least I'm the only one stupid enough to campaign during this time.
Well, they asked. Everyone's been asking
Brave
you why.
enough.
Yeah, brave enough is better.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Yeah. Well, it's because you know, it's like I want to keep the momentum going, and that's one of the main things. You know, is how do you keep the momentum going in between campaigns? Well, that's part of it. You know, is you gotta. I'm taking that hit with issue 2, but I'm keeping Phenomenova alive. I'm keeping the conversation alive because if everyone's like, "This book is great," and then eventually things fizzle out because there's a lot of other creative people out there. You know, everyone thinks they're that one special kid.
Yeah, we should get rid of all of them.
Even if people wanted to buy my book just to hate on me, that's fine.
Yeah.
A burnt book is a bought book.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
People are like, "What if I bought your comic and this with it?" I'm like, "Thanks for the money, man. Thanks for boosting up that printing count."
I appreciate it. I appreciate the business either way. Speaking of business, Crunchyroll is going to launch a digital manga service.
Problem
that
solved.
was ridiculous. So Crunchyroll just closed down their digital service in 2023.
Wow.
And now they're opening it again. They're opening a new one.
Oh, for manga?
Yeah. So they had one, and now 2 years later, they're opening it back up. The anime streaming service Crunchyroll will launch a new digital manga program in 2025. Crunchyroll President Raul Farini announced during the Sony Group Corporation's event at CES 2025. The news comes just after a year after Crunchyroll shut down its previous Crunchyroll manga platform in December of 23. The new Crunchyroll manga will be a premium add-on to the anime streaming service. It will be launched as an iOS and Android app with a web version planned later. The app will launch in English, and plans call for adding more languages in the future, much as Crunchyroll does, such as, same thing.
Is it going to launch in English or English? That's
English.
very important.
English.
No, if it's English, it's translated in the U.S. and it's going to be all the usual suspects inserting their own stuff. But if it's English,
that's a good point. Yeah.
But if it's English, it's done in Japan. And
I think there needs to be a middle ground. Like, can you imagine if people just kind of did their jobs? I know, crazy concept, but like for example, because you'll see a lot of wacky translations.
No way.
And the thing is, this isn't a necessarily new thing. It's adding the political stuff is a more, I guess, new thing to the degree. But like even then, like I was going through because I after the Sonic movie, I started diving through a lot of stuff. And with the U.S. manuals, oftentimes the American team would just like change the story for no. And I'm like, what? And it's like the story in the jet. It's not like it was something that was inaccessible to Americans. I'm like, why would you bother changing details like this? Like for example, in Sonic CD. Amy Rose, like this pink hedgehog shows up, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
then in the American manual, they're like, this is the character from the American show who's brown. But it's like, it's clearly not. And I'm like, why would you change it? Like, and the American team, sometimes they change plots of games. And so you see that stuff all the, or like in the 4Kids is obviously more, I don't know if you guys know, they're more known for that. They would censor anime there a lot, like in a bunch of stuff. So I mean, that's not necessarily like it's an uncommon thing, but there's like the super agenda based stuff is like more common.
Jamie Marchi was bragging that Rooster Teeth was changing dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rooster.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth. That one, when that shut down, that was kind of sad. But it was also, I was looking at it, I was like, what it became, man. And it became like, I watched the show Ruby really become like a show that I kind of liked to like. You see it become like the shippers are basically like, these two characters should end up together, and the showrunner's like, okay, and it's like, well, hold on, or they'd be making characters like, a lot of characters suddenly became gay that were like not. And it was like,
Shippers are pop culture cancer.
Dude, I don't know. So I guess this is one thing. Did you guys see my war with shippers for Final Fantasy VII? I got into a war unintentionally because I did a video essay. And I basically said something like, oh, I posted a clip on Twitter, and it was like 2 weeks went by, or it was like a week or 2 weeks went by, and there was no backlash at all. But it was like, Final Fantasy VII, it's not a matter of shipping, it's a matter of understanding the game's themes with Cloud and Tifa ending up together. And then all the Aerith shippers started getting very angry with me. And then it started a war, so I decided to stream about it and talk about it. And now but a lot of them like that hated me are actually like, oh, he's actually kind of nice. I'm sorry. But then there's some of them that like still hated me. But now I have. But the thing is, like, I don't think that's going to lead to backers because, like, these guys, they're constantly, like, because I follow still a few of them, and they're constantly, every little announcement is fuel for their shipping war. I'm like, what about all the other aspects of the story? Like, this game has been out for 20-something years.
Yeah.
I actually joined the shipper cult and didn't realize it.
Yeah. I couldn't enjoy Ruby because it's like CGI posting as 2D, and that's already a no-no for me.
That's
but yeah, it's a thing that people put importance in things that don't really matter. This is entertainment. You should watch it and go along with the rest of your life. There's people who live 24/7 with these characters. That to me is just, I don't know, man. And I work in the field.
So a lot of people are wanting to know what a shipper is.
So people shipping, I guess, is when you want two characters to end up together.
Yeah, and as love interests.
Yeah, but the
ship
thing
is in relationship.
Yeah, but the thing is, they make it like their whole thing.
Existence.
And it's like, and it'll be the characters. So, like for example, in Final Fantasy, it's the Cloti, which is Cloud and Tifa, and the Clarets, which is Cloud and Aerith, right? And they fight each other constantly, 24/7.
So it's the Twilight fans for video games.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well,
it's like all the people that secretly want Bunny and RJ.
Yeah.
Well,
to be a couple.
Oh, I hope
nobody. You know, that's nobody else's business, really.
Yeah. But they want to make it.
They don't have to announce that to the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we told you that in secret.
Yeah. and the thing is, there's so many like good reasons to fight. You know, to get like a real fighting over this, like really, like, are you so devoid of problems? Like,
but then if you don't cater to them, they get very angry.
Yeah. But do you care if a Chihuahua gets angry?
No, I don't care. I did. That's why I was laughing about it. Like I did find it funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, he got angry. Oh my god, what am I gonna do now?
Oh no, mad.
So I'm kind of ignorant about Rooster Teeth. What was that story?
Okay, so Rooster Teeth is a studio. They started making like Halo
Red versus Blue.
Yeah, Red versus Blue, and then they became like a genuine animation studio.
Well, they had that, and they also had content on YouTube.
Did they do like some kind of versus series, like some kind of like battle
for Halo? Yeah, Red versus Blue. They started there.
Else. So my friend Lisa is somehow associated with them, and she's helping us on our project.
They also did voice translations of manga.
Yep.
Huh.
In anime.
All right. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm not too much
anime.
into video games.
Is she a voice actor?
Any of that?
Lisa?
Actor? Yeah, she's done some voice acting. Yeah.
That's probably what she's involved with.
Yeah.
Probably the overdubs for English. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does make sense. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense now.
They're based in Texas, right? I think. Like, I'm not sure now.
Talking about making sense on the dollar. Cartoonist quits Washington Post after cartoon killed.
Huh?
Randy, can you read this one for me?
Pilloried Walt Disney Company billionaires, including WAPO owner. What? Editorial cartoonist and Tienes. I'm guessing. Sorry if I killed that name.
Yeah.
Telnays?
Yeah.
Has left the Washington Post after an editorial cartoon she created was killed, presumably because it pilloried not only the Walt Disney Company, but also assorted billionaires, including Washington Post owner and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. In a Substack post, which also included a rough for the cartoon in question, Telnias, I'm saying that wrong. Yeah. Said that although she had worked for the Post since 2008, this was the first time a cartoon had been killed because of the target. I have had editorial feedback and productive conversations and some differences about cartoons I've submitted for publication. But in all that time, I've never had a cartoon killed because of who or what I chose to aim my pen at, she wrote, until now. The cartoon in question showed Mickey Mouse.
Oh, no.
You don't screw with the mouse.
With the mouse, man.
No. Representing the Walt Disney Company's Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, LA Times publisher Patrick Xiong, and Bezos bowing to or offering bags of money to a giant Trump-like statue. The Post had also, the Post had been widely expected to endorse Kamala Harris for president in the recent election, but did not endorse any candidate. Bezos recently traveled to Mar-a-Lago and met with Trump, and Amazon donated $1 million to the Trump inaugural, as did Facebook parent Meta and OpenAI CEO Altman.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Say what?
Not surprising.
No, that is
surprising.
That was surprising what they did to me, but maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
It's all politics. Gotta butter the hand that might choke you.
Yeah, exactly.
Telnays pointed to her role as a member of the advisory board for the Geneva-based Freedom Cartoonists Foundation and as a former board member of Cartoonist Rights in explaining the beliefs that led to her decision. As an editorial cartoonist, my job to hold powerful people and institutions accountable, she wrote. For the first time, my editor prevented me from doing that critical
only
job.
one side.
So I decided to leave the Post.
Oh, she's so brave.
So brave. Stunning.
So brave. Yeah.
Dr. Ben's got a comment that puts it in context.
So what do you think about that, guys? What do you think about that?
Well,
I'd have posted the cartoon online and smiled and kept my job. That's what I would have done.
I don't know, man. Cartoonists down here get shot, so I feel no sympathy.
I don't feel any sympathy for her either.
Yeah.
Funny how she forgot that. Yeah.
They love to act like real journalists when it works in one direction, but not the other direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Too true.
Yeah.
It's very like, now it's happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
So, yeah, they're really happy censoring any ideas they don't like. But if it's their idea that gets censored, they don't like
Oh my
that.
God.
Right.
But I'm the good guy.
But it is in the best interest of a private paper not to, I don't know.
Antagonize,
Yeah, antagonize the people that pay your bills, right? I mean, like, you may have quit, but I guess you could now set the narrative the way you want on your way out. But with an attitude like that and doing that, like, there's a good chance that you won't last long in the next 4 years.
Well, I was going to say that's cutting off your nose to spite your face. She's abandoning her job as an editorial cartoonist just because she got her wrist slapped.
Well, and that's and that's the thing too. Obviously, it's why even though like I'll say occasional things, I generally don't talk politics that much because, well, first of all, I'm not that interested. Second, I mean, the reason why I got where it is politics started being like forced into everything. Certainly, extreme partisan politics, I should say.
Right. Yeah.
And to the point where every time a character shows up in something, we're like, oh God, how are they going to fit this? Whatever
narrative.
And it's the truth is like. For people of her leanings, I just don't see there being a super left, counterculture the way there has been, because I feel like they controlled those institutions for so long. I just don't see it. It's also like, and again, I think if she wants to post her cartoon or whatever, it's fine.
I'm gonna take a second for this. Sorry, Vaughn. Dave Williams just lost his wife a couple of days back. We'll have a GoFundMe set up for him. If you can support, please, dude, just do what you can and keep it in your prayers, man. Dave, we're with you.
Wow.
Yeah, he needs it more than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This is.
I can't talk on much, or I'll get super emotional.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine losing my.
Sorry, Vaughn. Just
don't apologize. That takes precedent.
I feel the need that every form of art, whatever idea you have, express it. Obviously, you won't work out in the paper, but do what we've done. I mean, our voices, the conservative voices, got shut down. Even the more moderate conservatives got shut down for the last 2 decades in comics. So let's put it this way.
Even just conservatives either. Like I don't have a lot of, I don't know what I am to be. I mean, I guess by today's standards, but it's like, I really have
like most people
I'm libertarian.
Liberal 10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like what Mike was saying about Private American. Like 20 years ago, you could write a Punisher story about going to the southern border and stopping.
And would anybody write?
Yeah, dude. There's Punisher issue 11. He goes to the border.
There you go. And now you couldn't do that, so he's got to do it on his own, which he did a great job of. If you haven't read Private American with that.
Everything gets censored.
People would have called me a moderate liberal, is what they would have called me.
Well, and I think sorry.
Look at what they're doing to Fetterman.
Just because he expresses an opinion.
Yeah, well, he's regaining. Talk to each other.
He's becoming more conservative as he regains brain function.
Well,
he's getting his critical thinking skills are going up. Yeah,
like I said, I don't really pay much attention to politics. I don't even know that, but it's like what I do know is like, and the corporate machine is what allowed things to get to where they were. Right? They were literally like, even when I'm filling out job applications, like, how are you this? I've gotten like with film stuff, I've gotten jobs saying like, oh, we're looking for LGBT or Black or women. Basically everything but me, right? To do this production assistant job. I'm like, so what does getting a producer's coffee and doing tasks have to do with being gay? Like, so if I was gay, I'd be better at this job?
I mean, the cover would be fabulous.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they, do a little twirl as
the coffee would be sweeter.
But it's exactly. The point. Well, the real reason is because the government offers diversity incentives, and so they literally will, if there's like, okay, we already have jobs that are bigger white, they are literally making it so, okay, if you're white, we're kind of getting you out of here. Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that because there's going to be a backlash. It's going to be horrible.
I think
in a couple of years, it's just.
Oh, Facebook banned my website. Hopefully, that means they can unban it.
Probably.
Any company that took code.
Oh, Joe, giving you a hard time in there. Welcome, Jeff Potts. It's good to have you here.
I could. I mean, how are they going to prove me wrong, Hojo, if I just like say it on the resume? Yes, give me a job.
So
I didn't catch Zuckerman's apology if he did one. He just said he was going to remove the critiques. Did he apologize?
Yes. Well, not really. Not really. It's kind of like, how my mom used to apologize without apologizing.
Yeah.
I really would like people to, to have a change of heart, criminal's redemption before they were caught.
Yeah.
Not after,
Right? So he is, they're going to move to community notes like Twitter.
Yeah.
Like X. Yeah. So, and remove the censorship. And now you could talk about gender and politics.
The censorship that they said didn't exist.
Yeah, the censorship they said never existed. The thing back on that article, though, is that cartoonist was paid to do a job.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's all part of freelancing. There's plenty of clients that I've worked for in the past where we don't agree 100, and you're never going to agree 100% with an outside client anyway on your political views. Not 100%. You might be like-minded, but you're still going to vary here or there. She was paid to do a job. They didn't like the job that she had done. So I don't think she quit on political reasons. She quit on egotistical reasons. Oh, you don't like my cartoon? I'm out of here. That's sad. And that just shows she's going to have a real rough time finding work because she's going to have to cater to clients as a freelancer who are going to have opinions very different from her own.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
That's the attitude that doesn't make you money.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
As fulfilling as it could be, though. That kind of feels good.
Her opinions, absolutely. She's welcome to her opinions, First Amendment rules. But when you are under payment from a client, under contract with a client, if you're doing a job for a client, you're expected to perform that job. And just because it doesn't align with your political views,
find jobs
doesn't necessarily mean you have to walk,
Well, and it's also like, and I think the difference, because I want to reiterate, because I'm against censorship. I think the difference would be also that the corporations and stuff, like with all these Diversity X, DEI acts, everything, are literally being incentivized to shove politics into things, even when it doesn't belong. Like specifically left-wing politics, right? They're literally being incentivized to do it. She's being incentivized, correct me if I'm wrong, not to, right?
Well, she's an editorial cartoonist, so she's going to be political.
Right.
The problem is that she's trying to get her viewpoint across instead of her clients.
See, that'll do it. Yeah.
Let me engage in a little judo here, because this is something they use from 2016 and on. Like, it's a private company.
Yes,
they can do what they want.
Oh yeah, they always use that line selectively. We hate capitalism, but it's a private company.
Yeah,
it's a private company now. It's a private company, baby.
Yeah, that's what my friends would say. That I'm like, don't you complain about capitalism? They're like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, so what if it's you? You're a capitalist.
Yeah, it's just like your body, your choice. Now take this shot in your arm.
Yeah, your body,
or you lose your job.
My wallet, my choice.
No, that belongs to the state.
Well, she knew the political leanings of the paper. She's been working for them since 2008? Is that what she said?
Yeah, exactly.
So she should know what they want and what they don't want. You got a client to cater to. She thought the cartoon was funny and wanted to stand on it. They don't. She should have done it and recognized the fact that they weren't going to print it and just print it on her own or find somebody else to print it, unless she's got an exclusive contract, and then she's got to cater to the whims of the client.
Yeah. Do a crowdfund. Like, who knows? Like, possibilities are endless, right?
It's what we do. We create our own way.
And then nobody can tell us nothing.
Yeah. Cancel this.
Exactly. The backers tell us.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for someone that doesn't, well, okay, I guess no one here caves, so that's not really that much of a selling point. You know what I mean? But I got a book here. So it's 24 pages. The first one was 65, 68.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good. Now I got a question. First off, I love how you're like commercial, like right into the sales pitch. That is,
yeah, I've learned.
That's a guy. That's a guy on the hustle, right?
Always. You got to obviously make sure you can hang out too. Like I'm trying to learn the balance.
Yeah. One of the questions I have a question for you. As you kind of go into this, what have been some of the challenges that you've faced going into launching your second issue? So I know like a lot of people, or maybe they've gotten one book in, or they want to get one book in, but that having the foresight beyond issue 1 and going into issue 2, I know you learn a lot. Like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't really understand that entirely from issue 1. But what are some of the challenges that you're now experiencing trying to launch a second issue?
Kind of realizing that, like, because I kind of moved right into it, whereas the first campaign, it's like, wow, I was learning everything kind of at once. This one, it's kind of like I'm learning that, hey, now that I've made all this progress, now might actually be the time to simultaneously speed up in some ways and slow down in others. I think what I'm learning, I guess, just because you have to improve with every campaign. I'm learning, okay, maybe I don't need that many mini prints, although I had it, maybe it's okay to do that. You also want to be able to say, no, I need this much money. So that I kind of give myself that confidence with issue 2. Now that you have a fan base because people have now responded to it. Kind of who's loyal to you. And I kind of have that security that I know that there's more than 114 Phenomenova fans that some people haven't backed yet. I think it kind of gives you a sense of, we find out it's called the first one was a fluke. Yeah. Second one, the thing is you have to earn them again. Like I'm earning them again. And my hope is that even if people don't like issue 2, which I think they will, but even if they don't, that I've earned enough goodwill that I could turn around and do the third. Chris Claremont, what I was saying, if you had a bad issue, that's okay because you had another good one that could come in. So as long as I can keep the momentum going, that's good. But I guess learning prices and now how to survive after that would be a thing I'm learning.
Explain that a little bit more.
Oh God, printing.
What do you mean by
printing costs went up 15%. So with this campaign, I'm like, this is all printing money right now. This is all printing money. I'm realizing I need to print more. I'm going to be learning at conventions, how well I might do. And again, I'm doing 2 in January. So, New Jersey. So
January convention, believe it or not, winter conventions actually do pretty good.
All right. Well, that's good
because there's nothing else to do, especially in like snowy states. There's nothing else to do, so you get to go somewhere and be warm and hang out with friends. It gives you some because you can't go outside. Summer conventions, I don't think do as well.
Really,
in colder states because people are on vacations. They're going out and doing they're out doing the summer fun stuff, right? So that's what I've learned in my experience, and maybe someone in the chat can tell me that I'm full of crap, but it's okay. But winter conventions do also equal con crud.
Yeah. Yes. Conventions don't give a sweaty endeavor all year long.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah,
about having hand sanitizer on your table and using it after every handshake.
Yeah.
I guess
everyone else will appreciate it as well.
I guess issue 2 is where I learn who my most diehard fans are, and that they've been following me, because I do think there's other people that somehow still don't know. I think my email list got screwed over. It was going to promotions. It was going to spam. It was whatever. It was like only 30% of my people were doing it. There's a Heroes Minicon. Listen, Marcus, you pay for my hotel. You pay for my trip. I'll be there. I can't afford that right now, but I would. I didn't know there was a Heroes Minicon, but that's awesome. I'll probably be at the Big Boy Heroes Con, but
traveling
Whoa.
and stay on these it can get quite expensive.
I know. I was doing the budgeting, so that's the thing. Realizing how much all that stuff costs, a bunch of stuff. But I guess with issue 2, I learned who all my day one fans are. People that are like gonna be there right away. I learned that I do have an audience and that I need to keep growing that audience. Not saying I can't get other people, right? It's not like, oh, if you don't back day one, you're not a real fan. I'm not saying that at all. But what I would say,
I would say probably people in the first week, you realize that's your core.
That's my core,
like, that's your core. Yeah,
down to the core.
You're ride or die. Yeah.
You kind of realize that. Okay, but now I need to grow that core. And again, obviously you want quality.
Yeah.
Because everyone, people start on the outside. No one started off as, oh, I'm a diehard Vaugh Coleman Phenomenova fan right away, because no one knew what that was. And so it's kind of building that core. Again, you want to see everywhere, and who knows, maybe you'll strike a chord with someone. I've been on a show with 1,000 people watching, didn't strike a chord with anyone. I've been on a show with a small group of people, strike a chord with one person in the audience. You never know. You're always growing your audience. I kind of learned from patience. You want people to be really anticipating it. Even right now, the people that can't back right away are waiting for the chance to back it until they get paid.
Yeah.
That's something.
All right, so we get so used to talking about page numbers and all that. I mean, all that's good for from a logistical standpoint on what we're trying to ask people to give us money for.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel like that's kind of the secondary thing that we need to be ready to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think the primary thing that we need to focus on is what 6 pages in the comic book make that whole issue really exciting for us, the writer. Right? So if I were to ask you the 6 pages from issue 1 and have you describe to me what happens on those 6 pages.
What do you mean?
What would you say? Tell me the story
of issue 1.
The 6 pages of issue 1 of the 6 pages that make you most excited. Tell me that story. Tell me what happens.
God, if I did the 6 pages that make me most excited. Of issue 1. The double page spreads of World War III, of things getting destroyed. Those are 2 of them. And
tell me the story.
All right,
6 consecutive pages. Tell me the story of those 6 pages.
Any 6?
A storyteller, just any 6 that make you excited. The story in that, and just tell me the story of it.
Because it all kind of flows into one. Let me, just to make it simple, I'll do the first 6. Okay. I like, what I like in the first 6 pages, I kind of chronicled World War III and how the history of it and how it now transfers into the present, where now it's being told by a father who fought in the war to his son in a world that was destroyed and rebuilt. And so what I did was I kind of went through a lot of history and turned it from.
All right, then don't give me those 6 pages. Don't give me those 6 pages. Give me 6 pages from the end of the book. Tell me the story. What happens? What's the action? What's the drama? What happens there?
This last 6 pages is we have our main character wakes up in the hospital after failing to defeat a villain. And basically that
villain.
Dark Cloud. So he seems to be the fan favorite. He only appears in 2 pages. And you don't see him in issue 2, but you will see him in 3. He is a villain.
Just tell me who is he?
Well, that's the tough part, is that we don't know much about him. So what do we know? Well, we know that his name is Dark Cloud. We know he's cool. Okay. We know he uses a high-tech suit. And we know that he's someone who, we know he's been through something based on how it's described. We know he's causing a heist at a reactor and that he has people working with and for him. We know that he could have killed this kid, but he chose not to. But he's basically like, you're not a hero. People like you will die And he's basically trying to tell this kid that the world's more complicated than he thinks. And he leaves the kid with a lesson. And so now we're like, okay, who is this guy? He's clearly a force to be reckoned with, but there's some mercy there. Why is he robbing a reactor? I leave you with all these questions. And basically what we have is by the end of the book, we have someone who is overwhelmed, really. This kid is overwhelmed, only to wake up to be disciplined and offered to be trained by one of the veteran superheroes that inspired him in the first place.
Right. So he fought this guy. And now he's in the hospital.
Right. Or
what happens when he wakes up in the hospital?
When he wakes up in the medical bay, of course, his mom's like, "How could you have done this? Like, you ran it. You could have gotten killed." And then that is when we have the Phoenix Senshi, one of the heroes we saw at the beginning of the book, who offers to train him, who scolds him for his stupidity. And he learns basically, I guess I'm spoiling the end of issue 1.
That's okay. Most people won't remember this.
Yeah. But basically he learns that his whole identity has been outed. He is now going to have to deal with his consequences forever, but he can learn. And if he really gets his stuff together and trains under the Phoenix Senshi, he can join a team of young superheroes. Now that team is going to be Phenomenova. But before he earns that, he has to learn to train.
Okay. So that right there makes the book interesting.
Yeah.
Like you might say, "Oh, I spoiled the ending." No, you didn't spoil the ending.
I knew I had to. Yeah, because it's the setup for the series.
But really, there's no spoiling for that.
Right.
Because I can even read the book and still get excited about. I know that this is launching into this, but now I can figure out.
Yeah.
The leading up to how he gets to meet this Stark Cloud guy. Yeah. It's all going to be super interesting for me, right?
Yeah.
You actually developed your character
as a quote unquote person who hasn't read the book, right? Let's say that.
And that's what I liked about a character like Miles is he's not quite evergreen yet because he hasn't earned the right. So he's very much someone who's got a lot to learn, and that means he has a lot to screw up. Every issue so far, I've written like 8 issues. He's constantly changing and evolving because he constantly has to get beaten down and learn lessons. And I guess that's kind of what it's like creating too, is I'm always learning lessons.
That's also part of the fun of writing a younger character too.
Yeah. Because like
Jeff, I got to tell you, hold on. I got to tell you, if that's the answer to what your favorite part of your book is, most people probably aren't going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it's a funny answer, but yeah,
it could be secret. Yeah, it could be secretly our favorite part, but we that's the stuff you don't say out loud.
Yeah, but this issue we also
make it a sale.
This issue we also get 2 first appearances, and also you see Miles' training uniform. That's not going to be his final costume, but that is his training uniform. Kind of like how the New Mutants had their generic uniforms. It's kind of what that is. That's the Phenomenova. He's the newbie. He's got his newbie uniform. And we're kind of seeing more of how the world functions now. He's almost transitioning into the hero end, like the real hero end, not the I have kind of the it's almost like he's seeing behind the scenes of, okay, it's not just you show up and you stop the bad guys. There's maybe more to it than that. It's kind of what he's learning.
Well, the art looks good.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that from the first issue. It looks good.
And it's improving too.
Yeah. I did that little exercise with you because there's this thing I've been researching and looking at that people are they care about page count.
Yeah.
And of dollars versus value.
Right.
And all of that stuff after they've decided if they want the story, right?
I've seen
but the thing that lets them know they want the story is finding that like 5 to 6 pages and telling me what's the action in that scene. Like what's that scene?
Yeah, because there's a bunch of different scenes like that in issue 1. That's why I struggled.
Right. Yeah. So what got me understanding this is I never watched the show House. Wasn't interested in it, right? Until I started seeing shorts of the show House.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing those everywhere.
It's been off the air for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing these shorts for this show House, and so I'm like, these are really interesting. these little cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started watching the show, and I've fallen in love with it. And I realized that if
Dexter had a resurgence that way.
Yes, and I'm noticing a lot of shows and movies are doing that. And I'm like, if we market our books, if we tell the little scenes that matter, that are exciting, then that's what's going to get, that's what sells. Because, you know, I heard some people say, well, no one cares about story anymore. And that's not true at all.
That's objectively wrong.
That's
artist
objectively
cope.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Story matters a lot. Well, you know, people are like, well, they're not buying comics. The story doesn't matter to them anymore. No, it does.
Yeah,
we actually talked about this last week with video games. Like, there's a misconception that video games don't have story. But the top-selling video games have a ton of cutscene story to them. Like, and then they allow you to fully immerse in that story in like a sandbox type world, right? And it's like, story really does matter. And it always mattered to us. Think about those old comic books that matter to us, those old stories. Why did that issue become worth thousands of dollars? Why did that character become so popular? It wasn't because the art was, you know, one part of it, but it was because the story compelled us to read more. Right?
Yeah.
So as important as the art is to initially catch the visual element of it, we have to be able to connect those characters and the drama to people on a much deeper level.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading all these independent books, because I don't get to read much, but what I read is these indie comics.
Yeah.
I'm realizing there's a lot of gems of drama right inside of these books that I had no idea about and was never part of the sales pitch. I'm like, man, if they would have led with this, they would have doubled their money, you know? And so that's why I asked you.
Yeah.
Give me a scene. And when you started talking about
James
Dark Cloud,
Rock, a friend of mine, has a book called Magnificent Bastards, and he was talking about he wouldn't give any details because he didn't want to like spoil it. Like, when nobody's going to get your book, it doesn't matter if you spoil it.
Spoil the hell
so
out of
he
it.
started giving more details, and his sales went up.
Right. Because when they read it for themselves, they're going to be, you know, obviously some of those clips and scenes that I've seen from House have spoilers in them for the season. I don't care. I know it's coming up.
Yeah. I knew a lot of stuff.
Excited for the.
I knew the ending of Sixth Sense going in. I knew the ending of Fight Club going in. I knew it doesn't really. I knew Dark Phoenix.
And the other thing is like, the other thing is like, you're never gonna know what people are gonna get out of your book. Like, even if you wrote it, it's your take on the book. People read your stuff and they get other things that you might not even aware. Like you put there subconsciously, maybe. So letting some of your plot out so people get interested. I don't think it's spoiling. Like, I don't know. Like, I want it to be a complete surprise. Like, dude, you're not catering to your girlfriend.
I'm going to tell you what that scene with Dark Cloud does for me. You said he's not in the next issue, right?
Right.
But now I'm eager for the next meeting, which tells me that the next issue is going to be this kid taking whatever lesson he learned from that encounter to be prepared for the next encounter.
The next encounter.
And so
now I'm excited. Now so I get like where you're going with the story. I don't, you know, I'm not an idiot. I'm a storyteller myself. But it doesn't mean that I don't still want to read the story.
Yeah.
That I don't want to know how does he apply the lesson, and does the application of the lesson work the next time he meets him? Because I've learned lessons and I've applied the lesson and it didn't work because I misappropriated that lesson. Right. So that's all part of this drama that you're throwing out that I can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
And I think more backers would be interested in learning as well. And so, guys, Vaughn is a good storyteller.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And you know, I don't know if Phenomenon Nova 2 is gonna have this, but I'm waiting for the Rocky training montage.
There's a little bit of that. This issue down to the core, the meaning is really it's kind of, yes, there is that training montage, but it's also in this issue he kind of learns that his actions had further reaching consequences that he thought. And on top of that he starts to be kind of unable to use his powers the way he did before. And it's because he's kind of had this crisis. And now he's learning to almost relearning them again. and how do I use it with focused intent? How do I use it in a way that matters? Why did I want to be a superhero so badly? And it kind of has to dig down and find that these things are in some level linked, right? What does it mean to be a hero? All of that kind of stuff. This is really a very character-focused issue. You know, issue 1, I gave my artist more room to breathe. I gave more splash, just more spreads. There's one opening splash, and that's it, because this is a very character-centric issue. I want you to care more about the characters that you want you to know about the characters before. Slowing down to speed up later. You know, I keep thinking of all these million different ideas, but at the end of the day, when I'm sitting down, when I'm writing, I find that, yes, I have all these action sequences. Yes, I all of that. But what I always do first is characters. I'm okay with slowing the story down for a bit. I'm okay with putting some of my favorite characters on the back burner for a bit. Phenomenova, those characters haven't shown up yet because it needs to be earned. And that's what all it's about. I'm earning. My character is earning his way, just like how I'm earning the way for you guys. Just like how I'm okay. You know, we want more Dark Cloud. Well, he hasn't earned the right to fight Dark Cloud again. He's still recovering from those just those 2 pages. He's still recovering.
You know what's really important about what you just said, that you didn't tell the people he hasn't earned. You showed it. In issue 1, when he got his ass handed back to him, like nobody needs to be explained, like, oh, you're not ready for the main event yet, kid. So that's the thing. Don't tell.
You said, you know, as much as he has to earn that, you said you have to earn the fans, which means you haven't earned the right to write that epic yet.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's some like next level, like deep thought there.
And self-reflection.
Yeah, I guess so.
That as he goes on his journey as a hero, I go on my journey as a storyteller.
Yeah.
And I haven't earned the right to tell you that epic yet. But if you follow me as I grow and learn, I'm going to earn the right to do that. So it's for all of our enjoyment. Mm-hmm. That's deep.
Good work, man.
That's deep, man. That's Russ says they are not buying comics because story matters. Corporate comics are mostly awful, and you're absolutely right in that its story does matter so much, and that's why comics aren't selling. It is because story matters, not because story does not matter. It's because it does matter. And then we go on here. We've got Dave Brink saying story makes people latch onto characters. Many people do not recognize or care about the value of quality storytelling. And that's true. Like, if I see your characters here, they're not recognizable to me. But hearing that story of having to earn the right to earn that right to fight this villain, that is really cool. So when I see those characters now, that hero's journey connects visually and emotionally. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what branding is. People think brands are colors and shapes, logos, pictures, or whatever. Branding is actually associating a word or picture with an emotion, with a feeling, or a value, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the hardest. Like when we first started Fund My Comic, and why every time you hear me go back to talking about Fund My Comic, I mentioned 3 pillars. The first one being freedom of expression, fierce independence, and trust. Mm-hmm. That those are our values, and that's what we stand for and what we're here for. Those were just words that link to emotions to begin with. Now, almost 2 years into this thing, we've had the opportunity to kind of build that trust and to prove that our values are there. Mm-hmm. So when people see that little logo, they're like, oh, they now associate a feeling, or they're beginning to associate a feeling with the image. When you see the little green mermaid, two-tailed mermaid, you automatically think of overpriced coffee, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all the marketing that needs. You don't need the Starbucks or anything. I drove by several Targets that no longer had the word Target outside the store. They just had a sign that was the circle with the dot.
That's all they need, yeah.
That's
and I'm
all
hoping
needed,
to get
right?
there, like the Rebel Oasis and Phenomenova. That's kind of why I didn't prioritize merch as much and put it back, is because kind of like with this, I want people to be begging for it, so that way by the time it's like issue 1, I had built up the anticipation so well with that campaign that people were literally begging me, "Why, please just let me spend money on this." Same thing with the next and the next. People are like, I really like, my core fans are like, I really want issue 2. Get it as soon as I can. And that's what you want but you have to do that through quality and through attachment. Illustrations are good and all, but often my favorite pages, my favorite bits of artwork stick with me because I care about the characters that are in it, because I care about what's happening in it. And that's the most important thing. You have to care. And I think I care, and I think people who read it tend to care. I put a lot of heart and soul into this. I think about it a lot. About what it means, about the characterizations, about the characters' motivations. And this issue is very much a reflective piece, while introducing some cool new characters and having some cool action in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Hojo's saying my most popular character, Cam Cat, and that wasn't even close to the intention. The story dictates all. It really does, doesn't it? It really does. And it's funny, like, what connects with the readers. Like, what you think is going to connect, what doesn't. Like, I have a dog that's in one of my stories that's maybe in 7 panels total.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone loves that dog.
Yeah.
Right? He's literally, he's the anchor for one part of a character's personality that was important. That this guy has nothing else, but he has this dog, and that matters to him. So much so that he's going to risk his life to grab this dog, right? And Pepper, Sergeant Pepper. And that right there, that one little thing has made Sergeant Pepper very popular among the few faithfuls to the storyline. And so you never know what's really going to connect with people. These little elements that you put in the story that kind of humanize these heroes. When you remove the super part of the hero,
or like Danny calls it, the damn dog.
Yeah. I mean, when you remove that super part from the hero, they're still a hero. So why are they a hero? Is it because they're super, or is it because of something else? And that's always the fun part in our storytelling and our characterization. And I think that you do a good job of that in this book, to be quite honest. I'm excited for your next issue. I really am.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, it was always, everything I was doing was serving Miles and his journey and the characters.
Yeah. So you just need money to, you need money to make the next one, but you're printing.
To print
right now, you're at.
So listen, the next one, if that comes later, that comes later. I'm focused on issue 2 now. And then if issue 3 comes, however fast it comes, it's up to you guys, but do not worry about it. We're focused on one book at a time. If I need to slow down, that's fine, because I know you guys want it. Let's put it that way. So I'd say worry about issue 1 and 2 right now. I think I'm confident in my story. If you don't take it from me, take it from Mike Barron. He believes in it a lot of, and what's the worst case scenario? Read the first 10 pages of issue 1. I really get into a lot of the core of what it's about. I always say this, and this is a huge thing with me, because I pull from a lot of the comics I love, like Claremont's Run and all of that. And I pull from what is most missing in a lot of comics, and that is the heroic core. The just straight up heroism. I always say in an age of deconstruction, this is a reconstruction and a reconstitution. It's funny. We say the mainstream is doing that, but the truth is that I see a lot of indies doing it too. Oh, this is a parody. This is an edgier version. This is whatever. And it's like, we don't need to deconstruct everything. We need to construct something. We need to, and generally when they would do, I don't know if I'd call it a full-on deconstruction, but I like stories like Daredevil Born Again or Life Death, where we do tear down the characters, but we do it so we're taking it apart so we can put it back together again, better ever, with a stronger understanding of it. That's kind of what Miles is doing in this issue, is he's kind of struggling to use his powers. He's struggling with all of this. He's slowing down so he can put himself together again, so we can learn Galvanite who he is.
I don't think you're going to find any real pronouns or anything like that in here, right?
It's a genuine reconstruction.
I do use pronouns, like he says he is. I mean, I guess. It's
oh my God,
Randy, say that again. Say that again.
It's a genuine reconstruction, is what it is.
Yes. You know,
that's why that Daredevil Born Again sticks out, and it's not like there's so many so-called deconstructions that folks call it. That's a bad label, because a lot of it's just a bad attempt at dragging some sense of their idea of realism into the story, instead of really servicing the story and working on that character per se and reconstructing it. That's the whole hero's journey, an emotional arc there.
I'm picking apart all of Miles's failures and so he can show how to be a better hero.
Yeah.
Because I believe in heroism, and we'll find out why the villain doesn't in later issues, why he doesn't believe in like nobility.
Spider-Man got his butt kicked a lot early on.
Oh yeah.
It's okay to get your butt kicked.
It sounds like he's just being developed.
On my website. If people don't have money right now, you can join the mailing list. It's no big deal. Follow me on all socials, of course, my YouTube channel, Vaugh Coleman.
Now you will also be launching this on other platforms.
Yes.
But back him on Fund My Comic, because he's keeping way more of his own money.
Yes.
Vaughn has joined our ambassador program.
Mm-hmm.
So he is he's able to keep most of his money. Mm-hmm. So more of the money that you are giving towards this campaign is going straight to his bottom dollar. It's allowing him to
and to this guy
further.
Come on.
Yeah, to keep the website up. Yeah, is basically what the rest of that does. So definitely back him on that. If you're watching this and keep sharing those out. Mm-hmm. Share this video with your friends. We're going to be doing some shorts, cutting some shorts out of this, so that we could put those out, what we're calling bacon bits, throughout the week, and promoting this and the campaign.
Oh yeah,
guys, definitely check out Vaughn and what he's doing. Follow him on the socials.
And Past President's asking for the link again. That's what I mean. You can never share the link enough times.
Yeah, Past Master Dan, or we should call him Postmaster Dan, who's posting those links, man. You're amazing out there today. We appreciate it. Definitely hit like and subscribe. If you like the content that we're doing, please let us know by hitting the like, the subscribe, leaving a comment. All that stuff helps in the algorithms, helps boost this channel and what we're doing, these kind of videos. So that helps a ton. We are one of the only, I think, early comic book shows that's on out there right now. So we're definitely a niche. We're a niche of a niche, I think.
This has been a great audience. MSK is asking when Disney is going to buy me out. Issue 3, guys. As soon as I get successful, bye. No, I'm kidding.
Our audience is full of coffee and hope. Hope that the day goes quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Coffee and hope. And yep. And have that nerd bacon merch. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, look at that. Cool.
So, yep. Definitely check out what T Bunny's doing. He's got a campaign over on Fund My Comic. RJ has a couple campaigns over on Fund My Comic, raising money for a book that he and I are working on called Orion.
Call sign Orion. Yep. I'll share the trading card and the miniature campaign in the chat here.
Yep. And that way we can pop that in the. Yeah, you can. You're chatting, right?
Yep. Chat.
Chat. Yeah, so that we can get that out there. Check that out, guys. He needs to raise money so he can pay me.
That's right.
To draw his book. That's really how I make my money, is drawing books for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's good.
Man, and I love what a living.
By the way, if you ever want to hire me, guys, I can write and edit for you.
Yeah. I mean,
there you go. See, this guy is marketing 101.
You have to learn to sell all the time.
Every time. Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
You go by that campaign and you like the art on it. I'm actually getting ready to finish up one big project that is going to be around a 100-page graphic novel. Finishing that one up, and then I'll be doing getting really back on track with this book called Pawn. I think the writer just chose a colorist for that project. We're getting ready to work on some covers for it, but I'm going to have because that project is paced out over many months. But I'm going to have some opening in my schedule for another project that could be paced out over many months, doing a couple pages a week. So if there's anybody out there looking for an artist for some stuff, let me know, because RJ is not ready to hire me to do pages just quite yet.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah,
I got to get out there more, get on Vaughn's level.
Yeah.
Well, if we're doing that, if anyone's in need of animation, I'm your dude.
Yeah,
motion graphics, character animation, whatever you need, I'm here.
Yeah.
And they'll do a fine job for you.
We have to do a little housekeeping, right? We have to do a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
Speaking of housekeeping, definitely check out Zim's show. He's got 2 shows. One on Friday morning at 5 a.m. You want to tell us about that one?
Yeah, Comics by Night at 5 a.m. This week, we're going to be looking at Mobius. Mobius is the Inkle. Volume 1. Great bit of sequential art. Then on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., I do a show called Sunday Funnies, at which we look at the more oddball stuff and in comics. This Sunday, we're going to be looking at Mars Patrol from Gold Key. That's a great book by Wally Wood, a collection that Dark Horse kicked out not too long ago. Yeah, of Wally Wood. Mars Patrol. Great book. Great. A lot of fun Wood there. We are archived at the Randy Zim YouTube channel, the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, but especially over at the Indie Comics Network YouTube channel. They have all of our shows over there, and we've been doing this for about a year and a half. Russ Leach is on there most of the time. Glenn Fleming's on there most of the time, and we have other people coming in and out looking at some great sequential art just to inspire us and remind us how great this art form is.
It really is a great show. If you guys haven't caught it, you definitely should.
It's a lot of fun,
but it's great for a rewatch.
Most of our viewership's after the fact anyway. So catch us whenever.
I have another thing though. I've been hinting it for a year. Next Tuesday, Animation Bones. It's going to be my animation online school. It's starting next Tuesday.
There you go.
Then Thursdays evenings is going to be en español. So if you have friends in Latin America who want to learn how to animate, Thursdays. If you're American or English speaking, Thursdays, and it's going to be on open source software, so there's no investments on your part. So be on the lookout for that.
If you are watching on our YouTube channel, I believe that in our affiliates or partners, Bunny's channel is listed. I think Pedro's channel might be listed, and I know Randy's channel is listed. If not, I'll get that up there today. But definitely check out those YouTube channels. RJ, you have a channel?
Yes, sir, I do. Just RJ William. Find me on YouTube. I put out shorts every now and then. Been putting out more content lately. My biggest thing is the Substack. That's the mailing list for Call Sign Orion. Get on that. You'll get a free pop socket if you reply with your mailing address. This is the OG Orion here, drawn by Johnny over on Twitter, JP7Art. You'll get a free pop socket. They're great on your phone. If you post a picture of that pop socket on social media, you'll get a 20% discount on any Orion merchandise too. That will include the Lena Riley trading card, which looks like so. Nice. Yourself a news reporter. She's my April O'Neil character, Lena Riley, based on my friend Lisa Foyles, who some people will know from Rooster Teeth, among all that, and Malcolm in the Middle and some other things. What else? I got a miniature. I got the painted and the unpainted. There's also glow in the dark versions of the F-26 Aerostar. So get yourself one of those. And finally, all of that goes to Luke's fine work here. I got the glossy version. Some pages. I don't know how well you can see it in the light. Fun space battle. Some great
that looks good.
Fighting action.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
That looks good if I do say so myself.
Oh yeah, Mike Barron is the editor, by the way, and he read the script. And what'd he say? He told me it's better than any of the bleep that DC and Marvel are currently publishing.
Yes, he did.
No, he says no worse than any of the bleep that DC and Marvel are currently publishing. So best backhanded compliment in the world.
$10 a page. Yeah, it's better than a rate you're giving Pedro. So I'll take it.
I take offense.
Mike is a saint.
Yeah.
Bunny, you've got a show that you do. Just the one, or how many shows do you do on your channel, The Rabbit Hole?
Is Bunny there?
I don't know.
Bunny.
I got 3 shows. One
3.
Monday is the Monday call-in. Yep, right here. Oh, I'm here.
Go ahead. He must be delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Then Thursday, I've got the What's Next. Christian pop entertainment. And then Saturday's the Cryptids and Conspiracy show.
So if you like conspiracies, check them out on Saturday. If you're trying to promote your stuff, there's not enough shows out there right now for us to shill our wares these days. Bunny's doing that on Mondays. So definitely check that out.
Cool.
Find him and subscribe and get a hold of him over there on the X.
Yep.
X marks the spot for most of us, guys. You know what? It has been a fun show. Vaughn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm a little disappointed that we were not able to flip you the bird today.
Okay. It's a tough economy. It's no worries.
It is a tough economy.
It will get better.
I know.
Yeah, it will get better. But having said that, there's a good chance a lot of our audience has already bought you. I've already backed you.
Yeah, and if not, it's okay, guys. You have time.
Plenty of time.
The sooner the better, but do what's best for you.
Yep. Get that credit card from Christmas paid off.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not like
max it out again on Phenomenova number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
MSK is just
he is on fire, my God.
He just does like he'll say stuff that's like I'll be on stream with him and he goes on and he goes like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, I stopped following you like 10 sentences
I don't
ago.
know. I don't know what you're talking about. I like doing that too. It's pretty funny. Guys, thanks so much for the panel being here today. Your joy as always. It's good to have Pedro back in the house after his short absence while he was recording.
Thanks for having us. Good to finally join Vaughn and more real life, I guess. Not just a chat.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about being a broke guitar player. Like, you get to record the album, you get free sneakers and free food. You meet a couple of people. You feel like a rock star for 12 minutes, and then you're back home, back to work.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Guys, remember, you gotta. It's way easier to tear down than it is to build up. So build up more than you tear down.
Yep.
Leave the wood pile higher than you find it. And by all means, my friends, please be careful out there. We'll see you next week.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 AEWs, a GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes. Homicide, arson, robbery, rape, everybody gets their share.